Margot Kidder. R.I.P. Let Superman that hoe. So yeah, we're going to hell for kind of making fun of Margot Kidder, but oh well. She's iconic to the nerdum, right?
Absolutely.
So she's in one of my favorite movies ever, Black Christmas. And she says one of the best lines. It's the Mona. So me and my buddies always say that line and recite it. It's not even good, but for whatever reason we do. So anyway, I'm Aaron. I'm the one who, for the first time in his life, benched 300 pounds today. So I'm going to brag about that shit.
And how many steroid injections did it take for you to do this?
It was only 3 cycles.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Couple back pimples later, I'm fucking benching 300.
Wow. I'm Josh, and I will never, ever bench 300 pounds, nor do I ever want to. But congratulations to you, man. Whatever.
So, welcome to episode 9 of Dysfunctional Nerdcast. And pretty much our main segment today is going to be the review of Deadpool 2. But before we get into that, we got some maintenance to take care of, I guess.
Maintenance?
Well, yeah, we got to announce the winner of the review prize, I guess, for the Avengers 316.
All right, and the winner?
Do we need a drum roll? So professional. Is Jeff Barrett, or maybe Barrett. Could be.
Could be. I don't know.
So anyway, Jeff, if you're out there listening, shoot us an email, dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. Just let me know your address. We'll ship the book right out, man.
Yeah, congratulations, Jeff. And thank you for listening. Appreciate it.
And then I wanted to make an announcement, too. I'm going to be doing a new video on YouTube, different part of my collection. So I'm going to take a video tour of all my signed posters. Met a lot of people, got some cool posters, just let people see them, see what I got. So I'll put that up probably this week sometime. It should be up before the next episode.
Cool. That sounds awesome. And how many posters do you have? Or do you want to keep that a surprise?
Nah, I never really counted them.
Now you have to count.
It's about 100 or so. I only have like half on display though. Like anything else, you fucking run out of room, man. So you just
it's not like posters are small. So
yeah, 27 by 40s. Fuck.
Yeah, they're big.
So I cycle them out, but yeah, you'll see what I got. At least what's up at the moment. But we'll start off with a little bit of a game I got for you.
A game.
Yeah, first ever DNC game.
All right.
So the gist is here. I'm gonna name some booths that are at a show.
Okay.
You're supposed to try to predict the type of show that these booths would be at.
So you're talking like a convention of some sort?
Could be a trade show,
something?
a fair.
Okay. And I'm going to guess where the hell these are from?
That is correct. So I'll give you I'll give you a few choices.
Okay.
And then if you can't really guess it correct, we'll go down the list and see
all right.
what other options you got. All right.
Go.
So we got...
Do I need to be blindfolded?
I'm reciting them. What do you... What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
You're like the blind lady in Deadpool. She's like, I wish God would have took away my hearing instead of my sight. Anyway, we got Aaron Mark's Dessert Bar.
Tasty.
Tommy's Jerky on the Road. And Wild Bill's Soda. Where would this place you?
Oh, this is a convention for colleges to choose their food vendors.
Close, but it's not quite right. Let me give you some other ones, okay?
Okay.
How about a New Age Trinity Psychic Readings, Moonglow Jewelry, Whimsic Alley, The Enchanted Shire, and Zen Garden.
Oh. It's a New Age versus health. New Age food vendor show.
You're getting hotter. All right.
Okay, I'm just sticking with the food vendor because it's getting warm there.
All right. So you're getting hotter. To go along with that is Click Heat, which is a heating back pad type element. The LASIK Vision Institute. The Commonwealth Charter Academy.
Wait. It's a convention for retirement homes for food vendors for retirement homes.
Ooh, that would make a lot of sense, right? They're into
the heating pad
and the healing with the psychic shit and where are they going to die.
They could like gnaw on their jerky for hours because they have very little teeth left.
You're getting there, but let me give you the corporate sponsors because that'll maybe make this
Oh
a
yeah,
bigger show. So
that'll help.
here's the corporate sponsors that you would want at these things. You got State Farm, PNC Bank, 5 Hour Energy, Xfinity, T-Mobile, Sprint, and the U.S. Army.
All right, so the 5 Hour Energy and the Army are kind of throwing me off because I'm still sticking with like a geriatric theme. Because all those things, insurance, life insurance policies, that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go with the new age geriatric
Still
home
on
show.
that.
Yeah.
Here's the one I saved the best for last, and I know this is how you'll know what it is. Bath Fitter is there for real. They're there.
Oh shit! It's a Comic Con.
It's Comic Con.
Oh my god!
Who would not have guessed it from that list of vendors?
I wouldn't. I'm speechless that these people are at a Comic Con. And what Comic Con is this?
So it's Wizard World Philadelphia, which is this weekend, and needless to say, that's why us two fools are not there.
Well, obviously, because there's no comic book vendors.
There's literally, when I looked at the list, there's like 5, and then there might be like 5 or 6 toy booths, a couple t-shirt booths, and then the list of vendors that I just rattled off. Who the fuck wants to pay $80 to go to that?
That's there are more vendors that aren't nerd related than are nerd related. So it's like not even worth. You're right. The $80 to get in, the parking, the driving,
The time.
putting up with traffic in Philly, your time invested. Just
For what? I just don't know what do people want to get out of that show?
So our audience members will pose a question to you, like,
Does that entice you to go?
yeah, would you want to go to Wizard World or any Comic Con and,
There might
have
be
these geriatric vendors there?
there might be a lot of jerky fans out there. I don't know.
Hey, jerky's good for all, but I mean,
Kind of sad that Marshmallow booth wasn't there.
that would have given it away. If you said Marshmallow Booth earlier, that would have totally given away. But it was the Bat Fitters again.
But I mean, we harp on this, but we just had to show how fucking ridiculous it
It's
is.
sad, man. And maybe that's why Wizard World isn't really going to be doing well. They're not, from what I understand.
From the floor layout, it looks like they only rented like half the space they normally do. So, but my
That's sad.
buddy went,
Yeah.
and he got his picture with Momoa, and we were reporting last episode that he's down like 25, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
He looks every bit of it. He's really small.
Wow.
I fucking have bigger arms, not to brag again, than fucking Momoa does right now.
Wow.
That's not saying much for me. That's just saying how small he is. Like he's
getting into it. He's getting
he
into
is
the role.
not Aquaman or Conan or whatever the fuck characters he's been playing.
And he put up on his Instagram, I think this past week, him sneaking up on James O'Barr somewhere up in Canada, and he's like, "Oh, he's a very animated guy. This is gonna happen. This movie's going to happen." And Momoa is really getting into it, and I think that's a good sign. Hopefully, it turns out to be a good movie.
Yeah, so again, that's why we're not there. It's just too ridiculous for us to waste our time. But Free Comic Book Day was last week.
Oh yeah, first Saturday in May.
So how do you make out?
Meh.
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 It was average for me.
I mean, I got everything I needed. I went to my shop, and they were busy as hell. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people going in. It's really cool. But, I don't even know if I went anywhere else afterwards.
I got some like 15-cent Captain Americas for $1, and they're in pretty nice shape especially for $1. So I mean, other than that, I didn't really hit any great deals either. And I thought the free books like really sucked this year.
Yeah, they were garbage, man.
I got 4, which I mean, what can you complain about? They're free, but they were shit.
Yeah,
It was the weakest offering ever.
I got a bunch just to have, and it just wasn't the free comic book day that I remember. Like the books weren't enticing. And I'll think about
There wasn't
that.
any fun sales either. At least in
Yeah,
our
and
area.
usually
that's
like a
gonna
lot of
change.
stores have, around here we got a couple of shops to go to, and they just had like normal sales, really.
Yeah.
It's just and their stock is, kind of the same. So for us, it's not beneficial for us. Others it may be, but for us it's not. We've pretty much pillaged the stock
Yeah, I
of
think
most of the shops in
We've
the Lehigh
depleted
Valley.
it at this
So,
point.
but free comic book day, you're giving us crap books. What kid is going to want to start reading comics when you're throwing out garbage books, for free? I mean, yeah, they're free. Kids will read almost anything, but what was DC's?
Just the superhero girls.
Yeah.
It just goes to show why DC sucks yet again.
I
At least Marvel
they...
gave out Avengers, which was obviously in theaters. Makes sense. Spider-Man they gave out, which he's in the movie, so at least they're try to bring in the movie audience.
Well, there's no DC movie really.
Yeah, but like, give me a Batman, Superman. You just had Action 1000. Give you something like.
They should have done a Superman. They should have done Superman with Action 1000 coming out. I'll agree with that. But applaud them for bringing the young girls into reading comic books.
Yeah, so that's kind of all there was on that as well. But so let's jump right into Deadpool 2.
Okay.
What do you think?
It was an entertaining movie. I don't hate it. I liked it. I think it was a lot of the same old thing. It's Deadpool. You know what to expect. There wasn't any fresh, groundbreaking thing that happened in it. Honestly, it was typical Deadpool. After one movie, you can say it's typical Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I didn't think there was anything earth-shattering to it.
No.
I thought, like any sequel, they just kind of made it bigger, better.
Better? You think it was better than the first one, or did it
I don't want to
hold
say
its own? Like it just progressed the.
I don't want to say better necessarily in terms of the quality of the movie. I thought it was the same as the first one in terms of quality, but better in the way that it amped up the action, it amped up the jokes, it just amped everything up to the next level.
I did like the action scenes in this one more, I think.
So, yeah, I mean, some of the slicing and dicing and the deaths and
there was some gruesome shit in there,
chopping
dude.
arms off, and
dude,
that was pretty
great.
Good.
And of course, we spoil everything, so didn't watch it. Tough shit.
If you've seen the first one, it's pretty much the same shit anyway. So,
and that makes it a good movie. It's the same shit.
It's like remixed.
A remix. So you paid for a remix.
Yeah.
Nothing new, but we're just gonna get the remix done.
Same but different. That's what we want, though, right? We always bitch. We want the same but different, right? Like that's what the fanboy wants. I think this movie provided it. Same but different.
I think it was a little different, but it was still a lot the same. But the gruesomeness, I think, was amped up a lot on this one. Like when he blows himself up and his head's flying, you see like the shit hanging out of his neck. When he gets ripped in half, like his intestines are like, bleh. I mean, I love that gore crap. So,
and they make a joke to start the movie about how Wolverine stole his thunder and had to go rated R. So he's like, I'm gonna fucking amp up this action, and then right away it kind of does. It's more violent than Wolverine for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But it didn't have like a earth-shattering storyline either. I think the story was there more to progress the humor part of it. It's like we got to have a story. It's not a strong storyline at all. It's just there. It helps the movie move along. So you get to these cool scenes, the cool action scenes, the comment for everything that he does. That's what you want to hear. So,
and this movie is strictly a comedy. It is not really a superhero movie. So I mean, what comedy has a strong storyline? Oh, we got to go to a high school party tonight. That's the storyline. But it's what happens in between. And basically It was Cable has to come kill a kid to save the future. That's the storyline. Done. But it's all the antics that happen in between. So,
and I guess there was like a little bit of like Deadpool becoming more humanized, I guess. He started to actually have some kind of feelings. Like he wanted to do good for a little bit in that movie. Becoming the trainee, which that joke got old pretty quick. But he started to care for somebody. After.
And then she dies.
Yeah.
Let's just spoil it. She dies.
Yeah, after his Nessa kicks the bucket. Because of him, really.
Basically.
So it's his fault that she's dead. And she buys it early. And, the whole thing about, your heart's got to be in the right place. It's not your time yet. Like, he keeps dying to go be with her. And she's not letting him into the afterworld. And He's got this mission. He's got something he's got to prove, and obviously this kid was it. And the kid, dude,
We fucking hate him.
fucking annoying, dude. Worst character in the fucking movie.
He's just. I didn't even know if it was a boy or a girl. It was kind of like. I don't even know, man.
Yeah, first
Weird looking fucking kid. And then he's so
Yeah.
fat and disgusting looking. His accent was annoying.
And we're like arguing. Like I didn't catch where he was from. I thought he was like from Iraq or something. I don't know, like because his accent was so fucked up.
They do definitely make a reference to his accent, and I thought they said it was like Icelandic or something.
I missed that.
But
if
I
you
don't know
say
if that
man.
is, but they definitely say in there what his accent is.
I don't know. It was. I think it was an annoying character.
I hated him.
Every time he was on screen, I was like, oh, I'm like literally like holding my head because I'm like, oh my god, this kid's on screen again.
But maybe he was supposed to be that way, because to me, he seemed like that fucking Columbine kid that you could just tell he'd be the kid that was picked on, and then he's got to go to his school and just kill everybody. And that's kind of how
Yeah.
he was in the movie. He's like, yeah, he's tortured or whatever by this school of gifted mutants, but then he goes back to try to kill the guy who tortures him.
Yeah, the headmaster guy, and who thought he was doing right. He's like almost like that religious zealot.
I think it's been portrayed in every X-Men movie.
pretty much. So
Same
again,
shit.
nothing new.
Same
Thanks.
shit. A mutant gets tortured. What else is new?
And again, we don't need mutants in our world.
Right.
But
But he does make a joke to it. He's like, "Oh, this was just the anti-racist thing of the '60s."
Yeah.
Like he flat out says it. Deadpool says it. So
I mean, there were some really funny moments in the movie. I'll give it props for that, and I did find it entertaining, and it flowed pretty well. I did not think it was an hour and 50 minutes at all.
To me, it was like watching like an hour-long episode on TV. Like it went that fast.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty well paced. There was no slow part that I was like, oh, like
Because
it
I
got
think-
tiny bit slow, but then right when I was like, I'm gonna get bored for a second, it was like bang, and the action took off, and I was like, oh, okay, good, and that was great. I wish other movies would do that.
Well, I think that's another calling to that it's a comedy. Do comedies really ever get that slow? Not really, because they're always funny. Like nothing needs to be happening on screen. As long as it's funny, you're still entertained by it.
True.
So it's not really a true action where you need explosions and shit going on the whole time. As long as he throws a one-liner, you're entertained.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, some comedies, I think they do hit like you watch an Adam Sandler comedy, it's like joke after joke after joke, and then there's like that one serious moment where he's got to do, he's got to turn his life around
Well,
and
yeah.
and like grow up and whatever, whatever he's got to do.
Well, I think that happened in this movie.
and
When
that happened. Yeah,
when he dies, and then she says, "You can't come here yet. They still need you," and he goes back and.
yeah, but that was way later in the movie still. But I mean, there wasn't like comedies usually like right in that middle. It kind of slows down a little bit, like the high school party, and then they have like that serious moment of like, are we gonna kiss or not? And it's like, oh my god, just kiss the fucking chick already, or because they're in like the bathroom somewhere at a party, that shit slows it down, and then usually, like you said, the joke comes in and you're good to go. And this movie really did a good job of that. Absolutely.
It is just like basically an hour 51 of just nonstop jokes, and I would say most of them hit with me. Some of them fell flat, but when you have just joke after joke after joke, you're not gonna necessarily find everyone funny. Maybe a different person in the audience found it funny, so I guess it was something for everybody. But I thought some fell flat, some were hilarious.
Oh yeah, some did fall flat. I think it depends too on like how twisted your own humor is.
Yeah.
Like I love twisted fucking humor and offensive shit. So the more offensive stuff, I might not have laughed out loud,
See,
but I was like, that was good.
If people are insulted by any of these jokes, get a fucking life.
Oh yeah, don't go
because
to fucking movies, man.
he says in the Peter says, this Cable guy's pretty badass, but I guarantee melanoma killed more than he did. My fucking brother died of melanoma, and I still found it funny. So if you find an insult, fucking get over it.
Yeah, it's a
give me a
fucking
break.
movie.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
He didn't
Get
insult me
on.
personally. Like
No.
it was funny.
No, it's done for the moment in the movie. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people laughing in the movie that I was in. I went yesterday, 1:15 was the show time. I was a little shocked because, personally, it was raining here in the Lehigh Valley all day, off and on. And quarter after 1 on a Saturday afternoon on a rainy day. There was 30 people in that movie theater. Seriously, maybe 40.
And I had the exact opposite experience. I went today at 10:30 in the morning, and there was one seat left,
That's
and it
so
was like the
weird.
first nice day we've had in a week.
And the theater I was in is like where I go. It's an AMC theater. It's the theater that where they put the new movie in. It's their biggest theater. So you can tell there was not a lot of people there. And I was shocked because I really thought that there would be a lot. Maybe people were going at night or something. I don't know. But a rainy day, what else are you going to do?
But box office wise, it looks like it's going to fall short of the original, but it did beat it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just for it to beat it is humongous.
Yeah,
I don't think they care that they lost to themselves.
no. And I wouldn't. I think it's kind of hard sometimes for a sequel to do better.
But they did say it's the highest comedy sequel of all time.
Yes.
It beat, like, if you think American Pie 2 and those stupid, like, Rush Hour movies and shit, it beat them all. So,
And I wonder too, like, the American Pie movies, they probably dipped in attendance, I would think.
yeah, and they
Obviously.
said, like, from Ted 1 to 2, it was, like, 53 million and went down to 30 million.
Wow.
I mean, that movie was popular.
Yeah,
And
the
it's
first
still,
one was
even the
really
first
good.
one made not even basically a third of what Deadpool 1 made. So, it still made 125 million this weekend. But
It's impressive. That's
yeah.
an impressive opening. Yeah, it's gonna dip this weekend though. Got a big
Yeah, it'll
movie
be cut
coming
by
out.
50% with obviously
Oh, yeah.
Solo.
Yeah.
But back to the movie.
Um.
The jokes some of the other jokes I really liked. If you're like a comic book guy, you obviously know Rob Liefeld created Deadpool, and they make a joke about him not being able to draw feet, which is like one of the longest running comic book jokes on any message board you go to. Is the dude cannot draw feet. He can't. Most of his covers, he kind of are like waist up, or if he draws a foot, it's like this triangular oval thing. They never have toes. It's bad. And then he continuously draws a lot of pouches on characters, and they make fun of Cable's pouch being basically a fanny pack. So I thought it was cool that they made fun of the creator quite a bit.
Yeah, there was a lot of good one-liners in there. My, my personal favorite scene, I don't know why, because it kind of makes me feel disgusting, but was when he's sitting on the couch and he was after he got ripped apart, and he's growing back his legs, and the joke went on for a long time. Like, it was like a 5-minute running joke at least. People coming in the room, they're like, "Oh my god, like what happened to your legs?" And they're like, he's got these little baby legs.
And he has the baby legs, and he gives that awesome Basic Instinct
Yes.
homage. It was hilarious.
I mean, he's crossing the legs across. He gets up. What the thing that got me was when he gets up off the couch and starts walking, and they're like, all he has is the shirt on, barely covering this like ass of this little kid that's on his body, and I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, the joke was good. It was a good funny scene. It was
So
funny.
the only flaw I had with it was almost like a repeat of the first movie where he has the baby hand. So instead of the baby hand, it's like, well, let's amp it up and make him have baby legs. So it's kind of like
Yeah, but they amped it up. They made
Right.
it a little bit better.
I just think every comedy does that. Like, I've talked to Austin Powers earlier that they do the same like running gag joke.
Right.
It's the same again, but different.
But that's, what, in a comedy though, it's almost like you kind of want to see that. Like, I like that running joke from movie to movie, and it's just a little twist to it. I like that. So that's what it's a little continuity for
Yeah.
it. But
He makes fun of a lot of superheroes in the movie.
yes, a lot.
I like the line he says something about, "Oh, take away my powers, just give me a arrow, I'll be fucking Hawkeye."
Yeah.
Like, it was funny, and then he calls Cable, who are you, Thanos? So I mean, that was obviously relevant to what's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot. He makes that's
Makes
the
fun
thing
of
too.
DC a bunch, of course.
Yeah. That is kind of like the cool thing about the Deadpool movies is there's no holds barred too when you're making the jokes. They make fun of Marvel, they make fun of DC, they make fun of their own creators, like, and that's what it's ballsy and it makes for good comedy. And that's what this is. Although, I gotta say, not everything that Deadpool says is funny. Okay? There are like those quick one-liners. They just kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of. There was this woman in the theater down the road from me who literally, and I shit you not, laughed at every fucking thing that Deadpool said. Every single thing. He could have said hello and she was laughing. That's how terrible it was. And I was just like, that wasn't funny. And it got to the point where she laughed. Nobody else in the theater laughed. Nobody. And I said, that wasn't even funny. And I'm like, I don't understand that.
No.
Because not everything is laughable. It's funny, but not laughable. So I don't know if that's that person's personality, but
I always hold things in. I'm not like, I laugh inside or whatever. The only thing I laughed once out loud, and it was in reference to the Human Centipede.
That was it.
Which, if you haven't seen that movie and you're listening to this podcast, it's fucking bizarre, man. Go watch it.
It is bizarre.
But he says something about, like, when people contemplate their life or something, he's like, it was right the second those people signed up to be in that movie. And it's like, if you watch the movie, you will get the joke. So,
yeah.
Just think ATMs. That's what the whole movie's about.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think like else. About the movie was... I like Domino's character.
Yeah,
honestly.
Even though she's different than the book as far as...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't read that shit, so I don't know the difference. But I thought the character in the movie was cool.
She's cool, yeah.
And I like the humor aspect where, what's your superpower? She goes, I'm lucky. That's not a superpower. And they argue about it. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No. Goes back and forth. Every single thing she does, there's a lucky twist to it. And it wasn't funny, but it was cool. I liked it. I was like, oh, yeah. The way the train, the convoy flips and she just happens to shoot people accurately.
The side view mirror spinning, and as Cable goes to shoot the gun, it spins and reflects sunlight right in his eye that you can't see her. So it's luck, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was a well done running joke with her that luck was her superpower, and she was a cool character. Like, I think she portrayed like that character for the movie well. The way it was written.
My favorite part of the whole movie, I think, was the scene where X-Force makes the appearance and they parachute out of the plane, which is in all the trailers.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it was a big fuck you to like comic book speculators, honestly, because spoiler, they all fucking die in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. And I was like, I guess there's not going to be an X-Force movie.
No, well, there is supposed to be, but obviously it's going to be like a much better cast because who the fuck wants Shatterstar? He's so stupid. But anyway, they're like jumping out of this plane and they just die left and right. And the whole thing was out of that trailer, everyone's like freeze framing it and be like, that's Shatterstar, that's whoever. And they're like,
so they got all excited about this.
People are specking on this book. The guy who plays Peter, I guess he's in like whatever X-Force book. And people were like, he doesn't even have the same last name. So you don't even know if it's really that Peter. The book went from like $1 to $15 like overnight. He was in the movie. Literally what you saw in the trailer is as long as he's in the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like, if you paid $15 for that book, for one, you're an idiot. Two, you're never going to get your money back.
So do you expect that book to dip back down?
Oh, it'll be worth it. It'll be less than $1 because people will be so angry about it. But I think that was like a big fuck you. Like, haha, you spec'd on all this stuff. We're killing them all off anyway. And he even says a line in the movie. He's like, yeah, we got to get a cast that's young enough that we can get 10 years out of this.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, nope, you're dead in 30 seconds. And the deaths were hilarious.
They were. The chipper, I love a good chipper death, a wood chipper death. And that was just fantastic.
And then they have an invisible guy.
Yeah.
Which turns out to be Brad Pitt.
Yeah. How awesome was that? Like, in a split second, he gets...
Who the fuck would have thought Brad Pitt would be in this movie?
Yeah. Do you think he actually was like, I'll be in it for free? Or what?
Probably.
He was in it literally for a second, honestly. But
he probably works for like Fox all the time. I don't know.
I don't know what he's got going on with the deal, but it was funny. That added to the joke of him dying in the movie. And each one, like you said, had like such an individual death too. They didn't, one person hits the Peter hit the truck, right? He land. Oh no! Who hit the truck? Someone hit a truck.
Yeah,
Bedlam,
Terry
right?
Crews. Yeah, Bedlam. Yeah.
So he hits like a bus or something. The invisible guy, which I still wasn't sure if there was actually an invisible guy or not. Like I thought it was just a joke because here's this backpack, the parachute on the plane, empty, and they're just like, oh, he just like tosses it off, and I'm like,
Yeah, he goes in the
that
electrical lines.
yeah, he gets electrocuted, and then he like shows up and then drops to the ground, and
And it was funny that Peter has no superpowers. He's the only
yes,
one that can manage and actually land with the parachute.
perfectly.
Everyone else is going into wood chippers and buses and power lines, and he just lands. But then, of course, he tries to help the guy at the wood chipper, whose superpower is vomiting acid. And he, as his legs are getting chopped off or grinded up, he vomits acid all over Peter. He dies and loses his arm.
Yeah, his arm falls off, which was a great gore element. Like that whole chipper scene was great. The blood coming out and like Peter's arm being just like
it was like really B-rated horror.
Yeah,
but like in an awesome way. It was like Hatchet style, or
like if it was in a horror movie, it'd be like, oh, it's kind of
it's
like,
corny.
It's very corny,
yeah,
but in this movie, it worked with the comedy element of it.
Right.
So that whole scene,
it was like
I really
Tucker
enjoyed.
and Dale versus Evil. Is that type of comedy?
Yeah. Which is another good movie. I like that one.
Yeah, so that was my favorite part of it.
That was a good scene. I like the little legs. You like the whichever scene.
The only part, I mean, there was I guess a special appearance by Juggernaut, which I did know he was going to be in it. They said it about 6 months during filming, but I completely forgot about it. And I definitely tried to keep it a surprise because they never mentioned it in any of the trailers or anything. But he was a little underwhelming to me for like being that big surprise. I didn't think he played great, and his lines were not funny at all to me. He tried to be funny, and he wasn't.
They weren't at all. And the he, she, boy, girl teams up with Juggernaut, you know, because when they go to this, so whatever the kid's name, I don't even remember the kid's name. It's so like the character sucks so bad.
Shim, I don't know.
So Shim and Deadpool go to this mutant jail where they have this collar on that takes away their powers, right? And this whole, you know, and Shim always says, you know, he kept saying like, we take out the biggest dog in the yard, like, you know, he makes a shiv and everything. Like, it was just kind of funny, you know, but and he teams up with the Juggernaut, and because Deadpool gets out and whatever, and
yeah, so Cable comes back to kill Shim because Shim grows up to be disgruntled and kills Cable's daughter Hope.
Yes,
which in one of our previous episodes we kind of predicted because he has the bear, which was his daughter's bear. So we had the whole spec episode of that, what her first appearance is and so forth. Well, she does make an appearance, whether it's 2 seconds or not, but she's in it.
Oh,
so
yeah, there's a good spec on that.
But Juggernaut, he was just kind of meh.
It didn't really do much for me.
I mean, I didn't hate him, but I just thought if you're going to like reveal this and have this big reveal that he should have been awesome, and he wasn't really awesome.
I think he looked okay. I don't think he looked awesome either.
Well, he's up there with Colossus. Like, it's kind of bad CGI, honestly, but I think the movie kind of does that on purpose.
Well, yeah, and we talked about Colossus before. Like, is it done on purpose? Because it's bad. It's really bad. And you can almost like see his muscles flexing in the CGI, but it almost doesn't. Like, yeah, he's like,
I mean, it's cartoony as hell.
It is. It's very, it's straight out of the cartoon.
They could do it way better.
The thing threw me off a little was when in Cable, you finally see him without a shirt on, and he's looking at himself in the mirror. To me, it just looked like a rubber chest, and it just looked like rubber. You could tell it was rubber latex. That's what it looked like to me. I wasn't blown away by that.
I had no problem with. I thought it looked perfectly fine.
I liked his arm
Maybe
itself.
You were inspecting his nipples that closely, and I was not. I don't know.
Josh Brolin. We share a name.
Yeah, there you go.
Not the physique.
You've got nothing else in common.
Yeah, not the physique, not
Fame,
the good
money,
looks.
physique,
He's got
nothing.
hair, you know. But I thought it was, to me, it was 80s special effects, which maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. That, to me, was a little on the weaker side, too.
I thought he looked great.
But I think it's par for the course in that movie. The Colossus looks like shit, honestly. And, you know, Juggernaut was meh. and you got this. So and there's not really that much else as far as special effects in the movie, except for explosions and stuff. So,
At least he was better than Juggernaut in X-Men 3.
ooh,
Although I was expecting him to say, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." Because, I mean, that's hilarious, that YouTube video. And I just thought they were going to allude to it and maybe make fun of X-Men 3 in some way by having him say it, but he does not.
yeah. Well, overall, I think it was a decent flick, man.
So should we rate it already?
Let's rate it. You go first, man.
I'm going to rank it the same as I would the first one, which is an 8. Again, some of the stuff was a little bit repeated, but it's still different. I don't necessarily think the movie's better. It's kind of the same, but again, they amped up the action. It was your typical sequel. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a fun hour, 51 minutes. I laughed. So I give it an 8.
All right, fair. Obviously, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan in the world, but I enjoyed this movie. I actually liked it personally better than the first one. I think it's because I knew what to expect. Like the first one, got tired really quick of his fucking jokes. And again, he's that one asshole that you know in your life that has a comment for everything, whether you need it or not. And that wears on me. Like
that's who I try to be, and I know I wear on you. So
yeah.
yeah.
So you're my Deadpool.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good movie. I was entertained, and that's why we go see movies. I give it a 7. I would have given the first movie a 7 as well. So this didn't blow me away. The first one didn't blow me away. I thought it was better, but it's still on the same level as far as comedy, entertainment, the special effects. They're very similar. The same jokes, So 7.
What I do like about the movie is, though, even though it's pretty much the same as the first, it's still refreshing in the overall scope of movies, especially superhero movies, where they are kind of cookie cutter. This one, they're self-aware of it. They make the jokes about themselves, so it's still refreshing in the overall genre of movies.
And I think that's what actually helps it,
That's what the first one was awesome. It was just something so different.
It was. And like we're almost like beating it into the ground now, but it's a comedy, people. It's not a fucking superhero movie, So it's a comedy. It's a very good comedy.
All right, there you have it. So 7 and an 8.
And let us know what you think. We're always interested to know what our audience thinks of these movies that we review.
Yeah, how many chimmy fucking chongas do you give it?
Oh yeah.
So
Chimmy fucking chongas. I'm kind of hungry for one right now, actually. So let us know. Hit us up via email at dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. Leave us a comment on our Facebook page. You can find that just by searching Dysfunctional Nerdcast. We're also on Twitter at DNerdcast. Let us know. We always like to hear from you guys. So that is the Deadpool review.
So we're going to have a little fun in segment 2 here, or maybe it's segment 3, I guess, with the bullshit in the first part of this podcast. But so Solo's obviously coming out next week, which we'll be doing our review on next weekend. And Rotten Tomatoes came out, it's like 72%.
Yeah, it's fluctuating a little between 70 and 72.
So I was telling Josh how bad it's going to be. He, of course, says how great it's going to be no matter what. And we were like literally fighting at work.
Well, I also do this just to piss you off. So, because you automatically came right out of the gates. This movie is terrible because Rotten Tomatoes says so. That was it, dude. And that just set me to fuck off. I'm like, it's going to be the best movie ever.
No matter what. And I'm like, I don't even really base anything off Rotten Tomatoes unless it fits my agenda. So I was like,
yeah, which is the greatest thing
of
about
course,
your fucking arguments.
But for you, I was like, oh, he's going to be so pissed that this review's out. So it led us into this whole debate of fanboy versus hater.
Yeah.
So we're going to go total fucking dork on this, I think, right? Not even nerd. We're total dork.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty bad.
So basically, instead of us arguing over one another and just hearing nothing but shouting, we're going to set up like a chess clock here. and we're going to set it at 5 minutes, and we're just going to debate why he's such a fucking fanboy of Star Wars and why I'm supposedly a hater. And we're just going to hit the clock as our common ends. So basically, you could use all 5 minutes right away, or you can use 2 seconds and flip it back and forth. So that's how the format's going to go. Try something new here.
So we have 5 minutes total.
Right.
We're going to if we're done with the statement, we're going to hit the clock. The other person can do a rebuttal, argue against, whatever. We're going to see how this goes. We're going to try to be civilized.
If it sucks, don't blame me. Josh came up with this format.
Did I?
I was just dumb enough to go along with it. So we're going to try it.
So, all right.
So
I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, I was going to let you go.
No, I want you to go first because you're the one that started the fight.
All right, fair enough.
All right. So, hopefully we can hear
All right,
this.
I'm gonna hit the. You got it amped up already?
I believe so. Let's
crank the volume.
All right, we got it.
Got Bobby Fischer over here setting his clocks.
All right, go.
Solo sucks. Just admit it.
I am not going to admit that a movie sucks without seeing it and relying on someone who thinks that they're just a critic for the sake of being a critic. Because initially, on the red carpet premiere, people, not critics, came out and they said, great fun movie. Yes, a little bit slow in the beginning, which is general consensus, but it's a fun movie. They did a very good job with it. It was well done. It's not, don't listen to the rumors and speculations that's going to suck and that the director's leaving was a terrible thing. Ron Howard picked it up and did a great job with it. So then the reviews come out and they're shit. No, I don't buy it.
See, typical fanboy. Of course, the people that went to the premiere are going to like it. They have to say so. It's part of the premiere package. That's what they do. For a movie to come out, and basically you said it, the general consensus is saying the first half of this movie is slow and boring. If half of a movie is no good, it's not a fucking good movie. And you're worse than a hater because you're already predetermined to say, I'm going to like this movie no matter what. I'm going to defy the odds and go against every critic out there. That's the definition of a fanboy.
I said that just to piss you off, okay? But secondly, how many people went to all the Marvel movies and said, oh, this is a great movie. These are the initial viewers going on the red carpet premiere saying, great, 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 great. How many times do they go to these movies? Not even Marvel, every movie. And they come out and they say, what a fantastic movie this is. And it also comes out that, hey, this movie is garbage. Don't go see it. So initial review, I think I'm hoping might be pretty fucking accurate on this one.
The fact that you gave Avengers Infinity War, what, a 5? A 5. And you gave Black Panther a 6, 6.5? Was not a 7. I lost my notes on this, people. He gave fucking Last Jedi a 7. There is no way in the world The Last Jedi is a better movie than either Black Panther or Avengers. And if you look up Rotten Tomatoes, again, it fits my agenda, they are ranked so much fucking higher, it's not even funny. And then you're going to rank Deadpool 2 the same as Last Jedi? Not even close on the entertainment value.
Okay, so Last Jedi ranks in the 90s as far as critics. Audience score is half of that, okay? Let's see what Solo does. And since you believe that Jedi sucks, right? Last Jedi sucks, based on that, because the audience score is so low and such a big difference than the critic score. Let's see what Solo does, and I'll eat crow if I have to on this. But critics saying it sucks. Let's see what the audience says. And if the audience score is higher, then obviously the critics are wrong.
There's no way in the world the audience score is going to be higher. Last Jedi proved it. You're basically just a fanboy. I don't even know what else to say on this topic.
Well, you got 3 minutes and 37 seconds left. Okay, so I'm down to 3 minutes here. Here's the thing. I stopped listening to the reviews. I stopped looking it up. Okay, we had this huge argument about it the other day. I'm done with it. Let's just see how the movie is. Go in with the open mind. I'm probably going into it with a more open mind than you because you're already saying it sucks. Whereas I'm like saying, it's Star Wars. It's probably going to be okay. Okay. Yeah, you're old, and this dude, he's looking at me. He's like, I want to punch him in the face because that's not what he said the other day. I'm not hitting it just because I want to piss you off. So he can't even rebut me right now. But here's the thing. I've changed my outlook on this to go into it as open a mind as possible, okay? Because I realized that I should be doing this. And I did it with Deadpool. Okay? I thought I was gonna hate it, and I liked it. Okay? 7's a decent score for that movie. Going in, I think this will be a better movie than everybody thinks, and I think it's going to be a fun movie. If I am wrong, I'll be disappointed.
That's all I wanted to do, and he wanted to switch the clock. He's so angry. You just will not admit that there's any way it could ever be bad. And then every time I say The Last Jedi is bad, you're like, you just don't understand the movie. And I'm like, no, there was no entertainment value to it. It was horrible. Everyone says it's horrible. And you're like, well, you're just not smart enough to understand it. I'm like, it's not a fucking documentary, dude. It's a fucking action movie. It has nothing to do with being smart. If Rian Johnson was smart, he would have wrote a better script. Right now, you keep saying, like, my expectations are too low. Yours are way too high. I think it's almost the opposite. If you go in with low expectation and the movie's just average, you're going to like the movie more because it's going to over exceed your expectations. You come in flying high, the movie's going to suck, but yet you're such a fanboy, you'll just say, oh, it's still the greatest no matter what. It's ridiculous. And he did recant this week. He said he would say it on the air, so he will have to admit to this, that if he was to grade Last Jedi today, he would give it a 5.
I give it a 5. Are you happy? I haven't. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking right. Yes, I am a fanboy. I agree. You're a fucking Marvel fanboy through and through. Okay. Yes. And I just, oh my God. I'm like, I have so many thoughts running through my fucking head. This timer sucks. So I'm going into this more open-minded, okay, than The Last Jedi, because I had such high hopes, even based on the fucking trailers. I think the trailers for Solo look great. I think it looks like a fun movie, and that's what I'm looking forward to. From the Deadpool trailers, I liked it. I thought it looked like it was going to be a fun movie. I was looking forward to a fun movie. So therefore, I'm going into Solo, same as fucking Deadpool. I don't want to hear it anymore from you.
So you keep saying I'm a Marvel fanboy, but I've said that plenty of Marvel movies have not been good. Iron Man 3, I hated it. I agreed that Avengers wasn't everything it should have been. I didn't give it a fucking 10. Right now, I buy more DC comics than I do Marvel comics. So I don't know how I'm such a Marvel fanboy. Like, there's been plenty of movies I've been a little bit disappointed in. There's been plenty I like. My reviews are pretty much on consensus of Rotten Tomatoes. So take it or leave it for what it is. And then as far as Solo being bad, you will not admit that there's a reason they had to change directors. And I'm convinced that Ron Howard, based on the timelines, did not have enough time to do the entire movie over. And I think this fucking guy who did the first part, that's supposed to slow and be sucky, is probably the part from the first director that made no sense. Now Ron Howard comes in, he does the second half, it's a better movie. And they're saying the second half does amp up. Just like the dude's name who plays Solo, Eilenreich, whatever his name is. You can comment, I'll let you.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes, thank you. I mean, he needed a fucking acting coach to learn how to act halfway through the movie. And they say his character sucks in the first half and it gets better in the second half. Probably when his acting coach stepped in. All these things are going towards negativity, but yet you just have this unreasonable highness about it that's still going to be the greatest. You can't even admit that it should be terrible.
When did I say that it was going to be the greatest? I didn't yet on this. I'm pretty sure I didn't just now say it was going to be the fucking greatest thing ever. Okay. Yes, I'm going in with a little bit higher hopes. Okay. That's me. I have so much invested in Star Wars in my life that it hurts when it's a fucking shitty movie. Right. And there are shitty movies out there. Right. Phantom Menace, not really the greatest movie ever. Okay. And whatever. But first half slow, second half, they don't shoot movies in order. So Ron Howard, I guarantee you, did reshoot some of the earlier scenes and had his mark on the first half of the movie.
I think I'm breaking him, people. He's already admitted that he doesn't like other Star Wars movies in this podcast, which he's never admitted to before. He's already said this movie may not be the greatest. So we're breaking him, slowly but surely. I don't know what that gesture was, so I'll flip to you.
They might not be the best movies, but I like them.
And that's what all you have to admit. Instead of being a fanboy, you sound like a Trekkie, and I called you an Eagles fan earlier this week because no matter what, you think fucking shit is the greatest, despite their little fucking win this year. But it's all right to admit you have a guilty pleasure. Certain movies totally suck. You can still like it. Yes, Halloween 3 for me.
That says it all. Fucking Halloween 3.
It's all right. Like, there's certain movies that suck in life, but you can still find an entertainment value, but you can't still say it's the greatest thing of all time. I can fully admit it. That doesn't make me a hater or a fanboy. It makes me realistic. I have 6 seconds, so I'm just going to default the rest of it.
I never said that any of the prequels of Star Wars were the greatest thing ever. They are not the best movies ever. I still enjoy them. They are my guilty pleasure. Star Wars as a whole is my guilty pleasure, and I love it. And I might not think that this is the greatest movie ever, but I will still enjoy it because I am a Star Wars fan. Yes, but I'll admit that it's bad if it's bad.
My final 3 seconds, it's going to suck. So that's that. That's our fucking dork chess debate. If you hate the format, email Josh. Let him know how much you hated it. If you liked it, then give me the go ahead because I approved it and went along with it.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yeah. We're not going to do this every time, so don't worry about it. But I think like arguments like this, it needed to be done. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It
and
was
I know
good to be under the pressure and like just watching each other. Like he had me so pissed with the Eagles fan shit, dude. I'm a New York Giants fan, so that's
If you had the visuals, there was a lot of like throat slicing and fucking pump, like just flexing, and
I punched my legs.
Double jerk off motion with his legs. I don't even know
well,
what that was.
That's because it's so big that I need 2 hands.
It was just a lot of like,
yeah, it's great. It was a good.
I think visuals would have been more impactful, but it is what it is.
Hey, maybe we could do a Facebook Live one day.
Yeah, once the Patreon gets rolling, we'll do the Facebook Live. Have you people buy us some cameras.
So let us know what you think about that format, and we'll do it. I personally liked it. I think we should do it again, not next week, but give it a little
sometime.
bit.
We'll bring it back. I think
yeah. So let us know. Hit us up on the email, dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. The Twitterverse, we're always there at the Nerdcast, and the almighty Facebook. And don't forget, tell your friends about us. We've been seeing such an uptick in downloads and new states being added in our stats and shit that we check online. So we thank everybody, all the new listeners.
Be sure to check the YouTube channel next week, like I said, for the video tour of my poster collection. So I'll post it on Facebook as well, let you know when it's up.
Yeah, I mean, we're out there, and I mean, we're really out there because we're fucked in the head. But no, we thank you all for your support, and give us some ideas for shit too. That's the thing. We'll get you involved. And Jeff Beret, congrats on that Avengers 316 book. And get a hold of us so Aaron can send that out to you.
Yeah. So until next time, enjoy your chimichanga. That's right. We ripped off that other nerd show because that's what Deadpool does. So fuck that other show.